So we were checking out a couple of cool devices in the last video, and let's get back to the point of diffraction. Diffraction is when a wave spreads out behind an obstacle, and a wave somehow gets through a narrow opening and then spreads. So this is something particles don't do. You can't somehow throw a baseball at a wall and have it go around the wall to the other side. It hits the wall and bounces off. But if you send a wave at a wall, it actually, though some of it reflects, some of it can go around the wall and get on the other side. Well, what sort of thing can do that? Well, we're claiming that light is a wave. So light should be able to diffract. So what you saw before, via our remotes, was that at the head of the remote, either there was a bulb, or there's a bulb inside here, but some of them look a little more sleek. They have a cover over the bulb, just the same in there. And when you press it, something is lighting up. Now, is that actually light? Is it actually sending a light wave to the television? Well, let's see. So I'll point this at the TV, and you should see, I'm going to do volume up, volume down. Of course, no problem. In fact, the sensor for this is right here. Different TVs have it in different locations, so pointing at that is the best. Of course, if I cover that completely, if I really get it covered completely, then this doesn't get in there. And so if you notice, the volume is no longer going up and down. Get out of the way, and it does it. Now something interesting is that if I face at the ceiling, volume still goes up and down. What's going on here? Well, there's light coming out of this. Maybe it's spreading and some of it's going there. But what if I face the other way? So I'm going to face, there's a wall. Film that wall for us for a second. There's a wall over there. Come back over here. If I aim at the wall, volume still goes up and down. If I aim at the ceiling, still goes up and down. If I aim at the floor, still goes up and down. So there could be some, maybe reflection from the walls and the ceiling. So maybe there isn't something special going on here. However, we're going to see outside, we're going to try this a little differently. Can I possibly block this volume from going up and down? By the way, this is a big improvement over the old remote technology. Once upon a time, you really had to aim. But if I go directly into myself, okay, nothing. So let's pause there, and we're going to change location with the same TV. Okay, so we got the TV outside, and it's starting to rain just in time. What's pretty cool, we set it up. The remote, of course, volume up, volume down. If you notice in the office, no matter which way we pointed, it still worked. But outside, I pointed up, nothing. I pointed to the side, nothing. I pointed behind us, nothing. I pointed over here, nothing. I must point directly at that sensor. So what you're noticing here is that the light was reflecting in the office, whatever's coming out of this. However, out here, there's no reflecting surfaces, so you must point directly. Now, the nice thing about this infrared remote is you don't have to be perfect laser on. Like if I'm a little off, let's see, there it is, still works. Now here's a pretty cool thing. If you have a reflective surface like a mirror or maybe an old phone, can you still turn this on while facing the wrong way? Well, actually, I'm going to try to look through this and see the TV. There it is. I see the sensor. Let me try. And look at that. Can you see the volume going up and down? In fact, this light is reflecting off of this iPhone and going directly to that sensor. If I take the iPhone away, nothing. So we're getting more and more evidence that in fact there is light coming out of here, and that light is a wave. And in fact, we don't even have to perfectly aim because we have this new phenomenon. If I'm a little off in the aiming, it's okay. You see my arm's not aligned? This new phenomenon called diffraction, meaning a wave will actually spread out and hit a bigger target. Okay, let's put away the TV before we wreck it. So we were just outside working with our television remote. The interesting thing is, we had a video comparing red and violet light, and we were talking about diffraction and how, well, diffraction is waves spreading out around obstacles, and we were talking about that since light is showing evidence of diffraction, light must be a wave. And then we also
with the red and the violet that certain colors of light seem to diffract more than others. Well, actually, there are many more types of light than just the colors. So here, well, this is not a color because you don't see anything. Through that selfie cam, it picked it up, and that's a little bonus question. Why does a selfie camera pick up the light from an IR or infrared remote? So this does give off light. It's called infrared light, and when you press it, you don't see anything. To your eye, it doesn't look like anything. Okay. However, certain cameras can pick it up and certain devices can pick it up. Now, if you notice, a visible light laser, like this green laser, it's very precise. So if I point at that screw head, it hits that screw head and that's it. Doesn't really spread much. Now, it does spread eventually. If I go over to the rocks over here, the beam, if you were to go over and measure it, you would measure that light is a little more but wider. It's more spread out. It's actually diffracted compared to what it was back here at the head of the laser. And, you know, this has to do with scopes and sighting and that sort of thing. But, so visible light, all the colors diffract, but they seem to diffract less than infrared. Infrared, we didn't have to point exactly at the sensor. We had to be roughly in the direction of it, but if we pointed off the wrong way, well, then it didn't pick it up. So infrared seemed to diffract too, and perhaps more. But even more so than infrared. Send it! What is this? What is this? How is this vehicle driving around with no control in sight? Come on out, fella. Show us what you got. Hold it up high. That's called a RC. What people often think that's remote control, it's not. RC is radio control. Radio control. That device uses light as well, except it does not have a bulb in the end. It actually uses radio waves, which are a type of light. If you have a key fob for your, I don't know if it has a key anymore, for your car, you press to lock and unlock, you all do if you use a car. That too has a radio wave, radio control, we call RC, remote. And that, since he can actually go behind the fence so we can't see you at all, he could face that thing away, he could be totally hidden, and it still works just fine. That's telling you something about how much diffraction radio waves can undergo. And what we'll see is there are even different types of radio waves. So it gets pretty fancy. We'll look at different types of radio in your car. AM, FM, satellite, even cell phones. Those are all types of radio waves. And they don't all diffract the same amount. Ooh, nice little clip.